Welcome to 9.6, the algebra of matrices. So basically adding and subtracting and multiplying matrices together. So here's the key about what you want to do. So you name these by rows and columns. So this is a 3 by 2, 3 rows by 2 columns. This is a 3 by 2. Okay, so if you're adding or subtracting, they have to have the exact same dimensions, but not the case if you're multiplying. We'll talk about that in a second. So when you're adding and subtracting, you just take the entries in the same positions and add them together, which is what all of this is right here. So the 4 and the 3, those are added together, and then you would go to the -5 and the 2 and add those together. That's right there, and you just keep going. That's pretty self-explanatory. Then we have a scalar, 3 times a whole matrix. Well, you're just taking 3 times every entry that you have here. All right, let's go to multiplication. So this is showing that when you multiply things, this is a 2 by 3, 2 rows and 3 columns. This is a 3 by 4. So notice that those two are the same numbers, and the inside numbers have to be the same, the 3 and the 3, or whatever it is. And what you get a 2 by 4, which is the outside numbers when you're multiplying. Okay, and that's what you're doing there. All right, let's go on here. Or I guess we should show what's happening here. So you take a row times a column. And notice you have the pink one here and the blue one there. And you do the first entry times the first entry. That's the 4 times the 2. Second entry times the second entry. And the third entry times the third entry. So that's what you have up here. And then you add each of those multiplications together. All right, so it's like you pick up this row and stand it on its end right here, and you would multiply them. So 4, 0, and -2. That's what's happening here. 4 times 2, the 0 times the 3, and the -2 times the 5. That's what we have right here. And then you add all those entries together. And that will give you one entry. Notice what it has there. So this is row 2 and column 3. That's going to give me row 2, column 3 entry. All right, so here's how you can do this with your calculator. We'll cover this at another point. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to do these three things. A plus b, a minus b, 2a, and -3b. All right, so we're going to do 4 things here. So we're going to add the 2 together, so the a plus b. What do we get when we add these together? So 5 and 4 is 9, and -2 and 1 is -1. 1 and -3 is -2, and 3 and 2 is 5. So that's a plus b. All right, so let's do a minus b. Okay, a minus b. 5 minus 4 is 1. -2 minus 1 is -3. 1 minus a -3 is 4. And 3 minus 2 is 1. So that's how you do the subtraction. Just each entry subtracted. Okay? And now let's do 2a. 2 times 5, -2, 1, and 3. So what do we get? We get 10, -4, 2, and 6. Okay? That's 2a. And then we have -3b. So you take -3 times 4, 1, -3, 2. And what do we get? -12, -3, 9, and -6. So that's the answer for all 4 of those. All right, so we skipped to number 4. We're going to do the exact same thing again. So a plus b, we're going to do a minus b, we're going to do 2a and -3b. All right, so a plus b. Let's see if we can get this right here. 0 plus 8 is 8, -2 plus 4 is 2, and 7 plus 0 is 7. 5 plus 0 is 5, 4 plus 1 is 5, and -3 plus 4 is 1. All right, now let's subtract them. 0 minus 8 is -8. -2 minus 4 is -6. And 7 plus minus 0 is 7. I guess I could go back and forth here. 5 minus 0 is 5. And 4 minus 1 is 3. And negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. Okay? Now 2 times a. So 2 times 0, negative 2, 7, 5, 4, and negative 3. What do we get? We get 0, negative 4, 14, 10, 8, and negative 6. And negative 3 times b, 8, 4, 0, 0, 1, 4. And we get negative 24, negative 12, 0, 0, negative 3, and negative 12. So we're doing all these different things because we're learning how to do certain things with multiple matrices. And we have expressions here. And if you know how to deal with expressions, you can use matrices like this and do equations. Equations of matrices. And that's what you have here. You have expressions, and soon we'll have equations. All right, so number 5, we're doing the same thing. A plus b, a minus b, 2 times a, and negative 3 times b. So now let's see if we can just do this without writing anything down. So 4 and 7 is 11, negative 3 and 0 is negative 3, and 2 and negative 5 is negative 3. Now subtraction, 4 minus 7 is negative 3, negative 3 minus 0 is negative 3, and 2 minus a negative 5 is positive 7. So if you don't know how I got an answer, then write it out. So how did I get that 2, the 7? Well, I took 2 minus the negative 5. Change, gave me the 7. So if you're not sure, just pause it and write it all out. Now 2 times a, what do we get when we take 2 times matrix A? I get 8, negative 6, and 4. And what happens when I take negative 3 times b? Negative 21, 0, and positive 15. Okay, so let's go on. So 6, we're doing the same thing. A plus b, a minus b, 2a, and negative 3b. So a plus b. 7 plus negative 11 is negative 4. Negative 16 plus 9 is negative 7. So we have a 2 by 1 and a 2 by 1. Remember, adding and subtracting have to be the exact same. And you end with the exact same thing, a 2 by 1. So just pointing that out again. A minus b. 7 minus a negative 11 is 18. Negative 16 minus 9 is negative 25. 2 times a is 14 and negative 32. Negative 3 times b is positive 33 and negative 27. All right, so now find if possible. A times b. So now we're going to do a multiplication. So let me write this out for us. 2, 6, 3, negative 4 times 5, negative 2, 1, and 7. So first of all, you got to check if it's possible. We have a 2 by 2 and a 2 by 2. So as long as those middle ones are the same, we're okay. And what will we get when we're done? A 2 by 2, the outside numbers. So here's how you do it. Top row times the first column. So 2 times 5 is 10. And then we're adding the next multiplication. 6 times 1 is 6. That's row 1, column 1. And that's what we have here. Row 1, column 1. Okay, now next we take row 1 times column 2. And that gives us row 1, column 2 entry. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Plus the next multiplication, 6 times 7 is 42. And then we go to row 2 times column 1. So 3 times 5 is 15. And negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Then we do row 2, column 2. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. And negative 4 times 7 is negative 28. So what do we have for an answer? I'm going to put it up here because we're going to run out of room. We have 16, 38, 11, and negative, this is a plus sign here, negative 34. Now let's do b times a. So we're going to do 5, negative 2, 1, 7. We're switching this around. We're going to see what we get. Because what they're trying to show is, does a times b equal b times a? All right. So a is 2, 6, 3, negative 4. So what do we get? Again, I'm going to do this a little bit faster now. Negative 10 plus negative 6 is negative 16. And then 30 plus positive 8 is 38. And then we do the bottom one. That's 2 plus 21 is 23. And then 6 plus a negative 28 is negative 22. So are those the same? No, they look close, but they are not the same. So you got to be very careful that a times b does not equal b times a. All right, so now we're going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to leave these up here. A times b. So the first row times the first column over there. 15, and then plus 0 is 15. All right, so this is a 3 by 3, and this is a 3 by 3. So we're going to get a 3 by 3 when we're done. Okay. So what do we get? That's 15. Now the first row times each of the columns. So the second column we get 0, 0, and 0. And the third column we get 0, 0, and negative 4. So I took this times each column. Okay. Now I'm going to do the second column, or second row times each column. So 0, 0, and 0 is 0. And then 0, negative 12, 0. And then 0, 0, 0. Okay. So now we'll take the third column, third row times each column. 0, 0, 0. And 0, 0, 0. And 0, 0, negative 4. So that's a times b. What about b times a? So now you got to go backwards. You got to be thinking, otherwise rewrite them. So let me erase something here. Okay, so now we're going to do this row times each of the columns. So that gives me 15, 0, 0, 15 plus 0 plus 0. Second column, I get 0 plus 0 plus 0. Third one, I get 0 plus 0 plus 0. All right, so we already see that it's different. We have different entries in those. All right, now we go to the second row times each of the columns. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. Oops. And then second column, 0 plus a negative 12 plus 0 is negative 12. Then 0 plus 0 plus 0. And now let's do the third row, 0 plus 0 plus 0. 0 plus 0 plus 0. And 0 plus 0 plus negative 4. Very close. Okay, so let's make sure. I think I made a mistake here. So this row times the third column, so that would be first row, third column is this entry. So 5 times 0 is 0, 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times negative 2 is 0. So that should be 0 there. So I caught my mistake. All right, so that should be 0. And these actually are the same at this point. So AB equals BA. But be careful because there's so many zeros that can happen. But they don't always equal, as we saw in one of the other ones. All right, same thing. So this times each of these columns for A times B. So what do we get? We're going to get a 3 by 3 when we're done. So we have 1 plus 0 is 1. And we get 0 plus 2 plus 0. And 0 plus 0 plus 3. And now we take the second row. 4 plus 0 plus 0. And 0 plus 5 plus 0. And 0 plus 0 plus 6. And now we take the third row, 7 plus 0 plus 0, 8, or 7, or excuse me, and then second row, 0 plus 8 plus 0, and 0 plus 0 plus 9. So what happened here? Well, this is called the identity matrix. So if you multiply it by it, you get the same thing. So what happens if we put it first? So now, let me erase this other stuff. Okay, and now let's go backwards. So this row times this column, and that'll give me a 3 by 3 here. So 1 plus 0 is 1. Then the second row, column here, so that's 2 plus 0, and then 3 plus 0. And then we do the second row. So times the first column. So 0 plus 4 plus 0 is 4. 0 plus 5 plus 0 is 5. 0 plus 6 plus 0 is 6. And then we do the third row times each column. 0 plus 0 plus 7. 0 plus 0 plus 8. 0 plus 0 plus 9. So this is a key picture here, all right? So this is called our identity matrix. It's like multiplying everything by 1. So 5 times 1 equals 5. Negative 10 times 1 equals negative 10. And a matrix times the identity matrix gives us the exact same matrix. Okay, lesson learned. Okay, so now what do we have here? We're taking A times B. What are we going to get when you do A times B? This is a row 1 times 3 columns, and this is 3 rows times 1 column. So yes, we can multiply these because the inside numbers are the same. We're going to end up with a 1 by 1, meaning 1 row, 1 column, that's 1 entry. So what do? We take this row times this column. Negative 3, so negative 3 plus 28 plus negative 10. And that gives us, let's see, 25 plus the negative 10 is positive 15. That's the answer for A times B. Well, what if we did B times A? Go backwards. So here, I'm going to write these out. 1, 4, negative 5. This is B, and that's a 3 by 1. And then A is this row, negative 3, 7, 2. This is a 1 by 3. So the inside numbers are the same, and we're going to end up with a 3 by 3. Crazy. All right, so let's do this. Row 1 times each column. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 2 is 2. Then the second row times each column. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 2 is 8. And then the third row, negative 5 times each column. Negative 5 times negative 3 is 15. Negative 5 times 7 is negative 35. And negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Crazy how the two are different. Okay, so now we're going to do the exact same thing. A times B. What do we get? We have a 2 by 3, and this is a 3 by 3. So the inside numbers are the same. We're going to end up with a 2 by 3. 2 rows and 3 columns. So this row times each column. Okay, 2 plus 0. What am I doing here? 2 plus 0 plus 0 is 2. Okay, and then go to the next column. 2, negative 2. So I'm taking 2 times this row here. Negative 2, and then a 0, and then 2. So negative 2 plus 0 is negative 2, plus positive 2 is 0. All right, and then do this column. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 0, plus 1 is 5. Now we do the next row. So take this times this column. So we get negative 1 plus 6 plus 0 is 5. Negative 1 times negative 1 is 1 plus 2 plus 0. So 1 plus 2 plus is 3. And then this row times this column. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2 plus 0 plus 0. Negative 2. So that would be your answer for A times B. So I'm going to rewrite this. B times A, they get kind of sloppy here. So we have a 1, negative 1, 2, a 3, 1, 0, a 0, 2, 1. And we're going to multiply it by this 2 by 3. This is 2, 0, 1, and negative 1, 2, 0. So this is a 3 by 3, and this is a 2 by 3. These are not the same. This can't be done. You can take A times B, but you can't take B times A. We have, and here are all the answers. So 27 here. That's not possible, and that's where we stopped. So I just pick and choose which ones we did in here. 1, we did 4, we did 5, we did 6, we did 15. Let's see what else. 23, 25, and 27. We also did 18, but it's not on. We don't have the even ones on here. Okay, so those you can check those answers quickly if you didn't watch the video. All right, good job.